వైరస్ వల్ల ప్రభుత్వ ఆదాయం తగ్గిపోయిందని ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ సీఎస్ సమీర్ శర్మ తెలిపారు. ఆయన మీడియాతో మాట్లాడారు. ఈ సందర్భంగా ఆయన మాట్లాడుతూ థర్డ్ వేవ్ వల్ల మరింత నష్టం జరిగే పరిస్థితి కనిపిస్తోందని పేర్కొన్నారు. ఏపీలో ఉద్యోగుల జీతాల బడ్జెట్ ఎక్కువగా ఉందని, ఆర్థిక సమస్యలు రాష్ట్రంలో ఉన్నప్పుడు ప్రభుత్వ ఉద్యోగుల జీతాలను సంక్షేమ పథకాల నిధుల్లో బ్యాలెన్స్ చేసుకోవాలని ఆయన తెలియజేశారు. కరోనా కష్టకాలంలో కూడా ఉద్యోగులకు ఐఆర్ ఇచ్చామని ఆయన తెలిపారు.
Dealt with the PRC 10 years ago, 2008-9 లో. నేను ఇప్పుడు ఫైనాన్స్ సెక్రటరీ ఉన్నాను. So I dealt with that PRC. So this is something for the last 10 years I have dealt with. 10 years ముందు also. మీరు అడగవచ్చు అప్పుడు 10 years ఏమి ఇచ్చారు, ఇప్పుడు ఏమి ఇచ్చారు. For this I would like to tell you the situation then and the situation now is very different. How is it different, Andy? First is Corona. You know, మాకు ఇప్పుడు సుమారు 62,000 crores self generated revenue ఉంది, state owned revenue. Corona లేకపోతే this would have touched 98,000 crores. The details మీకు presentation లో వస్తాయి. The first part is this, our own revenue is down because of Corona. The other thing which is different is again Omicron is going to come. It is coming. It has already come. Anduvalla Omicron also is going to give a big hit on our revenues. Our human resource expenditure, that is employee expenditure, as a percent of budget is one of the highest in the South India as well as in India. Now, when ee paristhiti lo, how to balance between giving something to employees and to the people? There are people schemes. So how to do a balance between these two? This is what the government has done, and this is what the government did in 2008 also. During the 2008, our self-generated revenue was increasing exponentially. We didn't know how it was increasing so much. So, number one, context chala different undi. In this context, how to balance to give the right amount of increase to the employees, to the officers, and to the people, and to do public works, infrastructure works. So basically, budgeting and PRC is balancing this only. So how do you balance this? The outcome ante is a result of this balance. You could always say you got to give in more, but then something has to be taken away from somewhere. Look at it holistically. If you look at it as a system where there are all these groups of people whose needs have to be met, how do you balance it? Keeping that in view, this is the way to optimize it. So we did an optimization, and all these things, Honorable CM also held detailed discussions. He went through each and everything. He developed such insights into this. And then this balancing act was done in a holistic fashion. Now, even with this, the impact of PRC is a lot. The details our finance team will tell you. We have a lot of benefits despite Corona. 17,000 crores was given as interim relief. The philosophy of interim relief is PRC delay avutundi anduvalla majhlo koncham relief ivali. Aa relief ante interim relief. Interim relief is never a part of salary. You cannot call interim relief a part of salary. On top of that, you get DA for increase in prices. So interim relief was given 17,000 crores, and this interim relief always adjusted against DA or against the arrears. Adi GO lo kuda undi, original interim relief GO lo. So the philosophy of interim relief is that PRC delay avutundi, ee maj kalamlo as an interim, ee maj lo interim relief istunna. 17,000 crores had to be adjusted. So when you compare the pay scale, ma pay scale as on 1/9/2018 and today, దాంట్లో DA యాడ్ చేస్తే ఈ రోజు కూడా DA యాడ్ చేస్తే ఎంత డిఫరెన్స్ ఉంది. And as we have done calculation for all employees, they have a very good data set, Shashi and others. If you compare those two, there will be no decrease in the gross salary being taken away by any employee. In fact, I would also say if you add the interim relief, there will be no reduction. That very soon will show you the data. We have run these scenarios on our systems of all the employees, and this is what has the result. So no employee. Now, if you go into that modulo that this HRA has increased, this HRA is a different matter. Something will increase, something will decrease. But you should see overall what has happened, the holistic picture. Has it increased or has it decreased? That is what should be seen. Then you are getting DA also on top of that. So it is not that, the increase in prices were not factored in and other things, or it was ignored.
There are competing demands on the finances of the state. There are so many sections we have to cater to. There are people who are below the poverty line. Definitely, that is the first chart. There are women, there are children, there is nutrition, there is infrastructure, and obviously there are also employees. So everybody has a right on these resources. The state has to do a very delicate balancing act about how much we can afford to give to whom and when we have to give. So that is always the challenge before the administration, before any state, before any leader. We have tried our best, Chief Secretary garu cheppinattuga, we have tried our best to meet the demands of the states, whether it is in infra development, whether it is in welfare, whether it is in education. And you might be seeing even in the time of pandemic and corona law, whereas other states have cut down their expenditure on welfare, expenditure on welfare and increased. This is oka bharosa ivvadaniki oka ఈ యొక్క కాలంలో అదే ఈ కరోనా లాగా మహమ్మారి ఇప్పుడే రాలేదన్నమాటని మనం ఇప్పుడే అనుకోలేదు. అది వచ్చినప్పుడు ప్రజలు బాధల్లో ఉన్నారు, వారికి ఇబ్బంది రాకూడదు. ఈ డీబీటీ స్కీమ్ ద్వారా వారికి మనం చాలా మటుకి ప్రొటెక్ట్ చేయగలము. సో I think the entire exercise of the PRC should be seen in that context. I can definitely say that we have ensured that no employee is put into a adversarial position. The very fact CM garu venchinapudu 27% IR ichinarani, adi that's I think never in the history of any state in this country, or never in the annals of this state, that kind of step has been taken. And even what has been given by the PRC, whether it is employees or whether to pensioners, అందరికీ న్యాయం చేయడం జరిగింది. అంతవరకు నేను చెప్పుకోవచ్చు అనమాటని.